Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the Weekly Security Mashup. I'm Taylor Armerding, Senior Security Strategist with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group, back again to talk about what's trending in software security and insecurity, including how to improve your own security. So, at the top of this week, page 1, for sale, voter data. No, it's not a hack of the 2018 midterm elections. It's not even a hack of voter databases. As researchers from Anomaly Labs and Intel 471 made clear at the top of a blog post this past week, voter information is made generally available to the public for legitimate uses. However, access to it is generally restricted to legitimate parties, political campaigns, journalists, academic researchers, and the like. And what Anomaly and 471 found is very much an illegitimate use. Voter databases from 19 states with an estimated 35 million records that include personally identifiable information, full name, phone numbers, physical addresses, voting history, and other unspecified voter data for sale on the dark web. The states on the list include Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, New Mexico, Oregon, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Anomaly said that given that some states require an in-person visit to government offices to receive up-to-date voter information, that suggests the information disclosure is not necessarily a technical compromise, but rather a likely targeted campaign by a threat actor, redistributing possibly legitimately obtained voter data for malicious purposes on a cybercrime forum. And while it's not a hack of the impending election, it could have serious consequences. The availability and currency of the voter records, if combined with other breached data, could be used by malicious actors to disrupt the electoral process or pursue large-scale identity theft, the researchers said. The prices posted for the databases range from $150 to $12,500, depending on the state. Anomaly said 23 million records came from just 3 of the states. And within hours of the advertisement going up, a separate individual had launched crowdfunding campaigns to purchase them. As of last week, the Kansas database had been bought and published, with Oregon next. This is, sadly, only the latest in a string of compromised databases, including 191 million voter registration records in December 2015. Page 2. Unbowed by Florence, unbowed by ransomware. I suppose you could call it another form of looting after a natural disaster. As if the wind and catastrophic rain and flooding from Hurricane Florence a month ago were not enough, one of North Carolina's major utilities, the Onslow Water and Sewer Authority, more commonly known as ONWASA, ONWASA, became a victim of a ransomware attack. The attack, while it didn't compromise customer data, entirely cripple services, or damage the public water supply, did target the utility's internal computer system, including servers and personal machines, encrypting multiple databases and leaving it with what it called limited computer capabilities. ONWASA said it will recreate those databases manually rather than pay the attackers. That means things like service orders, account creations, connections, disconnections, development review, backflow program, and other services will have to be done manually and will affect the timeliness of service for several weeks to come, the agency said. In a statement, the utility said ransom monies would be used to fund criminal and perhaps terrorist activities in other countries. Furthermore, there is no expectation that payment of a ransom would forestall repeat attacks. ONWASA will not negotiate with criminals nor bow to their demands. The attack began October 4th with Emotet, which US CERT called an advanced modular banking Trojan that primarily functions as a downloader or dropper of other banking Trojans. 9 days later, in spite of attempts to eradicate it, Emotet dropped a targeted malware called Ryuk, R-Y-U-K, which then spread through the network, encrypting databases and files. This should be a reminder to owners and operators of critical infrastructure. At times of national disasters, it is crucial to stay both cyber aware and cyber vigilant, because the painful reality is that if you've been weakened, criminals don't think you qualify for help, sympathy, or even courtesy. You're just an easier target. Page 3, binding email security. Government bureaucracies are not known for speed. So, relatively speaking, the pace at which U.S. government agencies have complied with a binding operational directive, or BOD, from the Department of Homeland Security to make their systems more secure is pretty good. BOD 18-01, issued October 16, 2017, gave agencies a year to implement security technologies including DMARC, domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance, an email validation system designed to detect and prevent email spoofing. Email, as we all know, or should know, is a primary vector for social engineering attacks. And it has now been a year. So how binding was that binding directive? According to Agari, one of the cybersecurity firms monitoring the progress, when the order was issued, only about 18% of federal domains had adopted DMARC, and fewer than 10% had a so-called reject policy. Today, 85% of federal domains have adopted DMARC, and at least 74% have a reject policy. This, Agari said in a blog post, is the fastest and most complete adoption of the DMARC standard for any industry in history. Private enterprise is definitely lagging behind the public sector now. Even better, it noted that of 278 domains that are out of compliance with the directive, only 28 are defensive domains, which means the rest are not actively sending email. All of which is good, very good, but no word on any consequences for domains still out of compliance. There should be. Attackers don't need even 10% of a government's domains to be vulnerable. They just need 1. And that's it for this week. The weekly security mashup is a group effort, so thanks again to our entire content team. Thanks to you for watching. Help us spread the word. Tweet it, link it, share it, like it, and come back again next week. I'm Taylor Armerding for the Synopsys Software Integrity Group. We help organizations build secure, high-quality software faster.